All right, I believe we are live. Let me make sure that I am live on all devices. Gonna give everybody a time to check in. Look, we got this. People are going bonkers because they're like, hey, you know what? This semifinal, it's unfair. They're uh the staff isn't doing their job and so on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that this semifinal is like this. Huh, I am live, but it's not showing it. Guys, give me just a second. I should be showing up live right about now. Should be live. So let's try this again. Should be showing up live. Guys, let me know if you are in the live and you can see this, because for some reason it's not showing up when I'm checking it on the background. But I should be live right now, so everybody, yep, I am. Okay, so as far as that, we got some things to talk about today. Let's go over the results of the first round, or actually the prelims, because first round was just before that. So let me pull that up on my screen. First, I wanted to wait until the official results came out because I was hearing from some people down on the ground saying that all of them were in the same heat, but I wanted to wait. I did not want to get into this early. I wanted to wait until I got some real information here, because they were saying that Sha'Carri and Shelly-Ann and all of them were in the same heat, and that was like hours ago. Now it finally updated, literally minutes before I decided to go live with the heats. So very good that I waited. Anyway, this was in round one. I'm not going to play even the audio for this one because, you know, like I said, the copyright strikes on my channel. Normally, guys, I like to show the videos so that it's for fair use and it's for educational purposes, and we're discussing the commentary. But hey, it's the Olympics, and they're going real bonkers about, you know, trying to strike people's videos down, even though it's not working because it is actually fair use. So with that being said, in Heat 1, Sha'Carri Richardson kind of came with that. She looked very easy. I'm going to say it right now. The Heat, there are literally 4 people that look good in these rounds. I'm going to say it right now. Sha'Carri Richardson looked very decent. Okay? Ta Lu looked decent. She didn't look like she was trying overly hard. She just like got out and then she kind of coasted it the way there. Shelly-Ann looked decent. She looked all right. And Julian Alfred. Everybody else, they kind of worked for it. And the reason that I'm saying it like that is because when you look at their times compared to the wind, Julian Alfred ran that. I'll get to that in a second. So Sha'Carri Richardson in the first heat, obviously she had the slowest reaction time, and it actually showed a little bit. She's like, "Hey, look, everybody here, they're a lot slower than I am." So she did actually go backwards, but only slightly because everybody else isn't. They don't really have her speed like that. So she didn't look like she was going backwards like her normal self. So she kind of eased it through. 1094, pretty decent. The wind was just 0.1 meters per second to her back. So this was pretty decent. Also, let's see here. Let me know where you guys are hailing from and which athletes you guys are rooting for. Since this is a special time, this is at the Olympics and everything like that, which athlete are you guys rooting for? Not necessarily country, but 1 or 2 athletes that you guys are just rooting for in general. Because I know a lot of people are from Jamaica and everything like that, but some people are rooting for Julian Alfred. I've seen that plenty of times all over the place. So with that being said, then we got Van der Ricken, or it's probably Van der Vicken. She got second, and then Bree Masters, she got third. I'm not seeing either one of them making it through to the next round, but hey, that was pretty decent for them. Then we got Julian Alfred. Now, right now, before we get into it, fair use YouTube, fair use NBC, I bet they're going to take this down. I don't want this video to go down, but I might get hit with a copyright, but I'm still going to play this anyway. I don't want this particular video to get taken down, so I'm not going to play the race itself, but I am going to play the audio. So let me get to that real quick with Julian Alfred. So let's do this. Okay, Rabbit, jumping around.
fair start, cleanly away.
Yep.
And Alfred out quickly. Spinning on, getting good chase from Zoe Hobbs. And she backs off at the line. So
yeah, Alfred basically ran that race, and she eased up. Make sure I take this off the screen before I go back, before they hit me with something. But yeah, so Alfred eased up at 60 meters. She just basically accelerated, and then she kind of just took it easy. She didn't even try anymore. You could actually see her not try anymore. The coach instructed her what to do. It looked like it was a clear, hey, get up there and then ease up at the line, or ease up before that. And then even 5 meters before, she just like barely lifted her leg. Okay, this is back on the screen. Now, here's the most impressive. I think she looked the best out of all of them. She looked even better than Sha'Carri, in all honesty, as far as how neat it looked. Her and Sha'Carri are very close, but she looked a little bit better than Sha'Carri as far as how efficient she was going. Because also, you take in mind, she was going against a negative 0.8 meter per second headwind. So then you take this time, look at Sha'Carri's time from the heat before. We see who used a better performance on the same track in the same day. So with that being said, Julian looked a little bit more put together, but it really don't matter. You know why? Because Sha'Carri purposely kind of walked out. They were going against people that really weren't up to their talent levels. And so, yeah, but Julien Alfred, I got to say, looked a little bit better. Then we had Zoe Hobbs and then Doso from Italy. They qualified for the next round. I had noticed Michelle Lee Ai. If I did another video, which I was thinking about beforehand, I would have shouted her out before that, because she just keeps showing up at these Olympics and sometimes world championships and everything like that. Now we go to the next round. I don't think I'm going to play the audio because I could be doing this for each one. But instead, I'll do that. So you guys are saying Shelly looked the most relaxed. Interesting. So, give me just a second. Now, with heat number 2, Daryl Nita and Melissa Jefferson. I gotta say this. I might have to take back what I said, but actually Melissa Jefferson, is something about her form or something. I'm not sure. I feel like her body should be a little bit more bulked up for the way that she runs. Because it almost looks like she kind of runs with like a wild power. But she's very compact and tight. Very thin. She's a very thin athlete. But I feel like she should be a little bit bigger, like Julien Alfred size. Or maybe even a little bit more muscular than that. But for her body, I'm like, maybe it was this round. Because she doesn't always look like that, but she kind of does. So I don't know if you guys picked up on that one. But it didn't necessarily look like she got herself into her stride. Like her and Daryl Nita probably held back a little bit more. Melissa Jefferson looked like she was more so probably because her form was kind of not quite there. Looked like she was trying most of the time. So as far as this, and they had a tailwind on them, I gotta say, they're gonna have a harder time getting it through to the next round, depending on how these heats are matched up, because I just did not look. So you're gonna get my first reaction. The only one that I knew about were the 3 that were in the same heat. Otherwise, you're gonna get my first reaction here to what these heats are. But yeah, Melissa Jefferson was not necessarily looking all the way put together. Depending on how many people show up, I might actually do the races and do race analysis on those. But here we go. Then we got the next heat. Now, with this one, also with the tailwind, I thought that Tia was going to run away with this one. But then she actually got caught and passed up by the Canadian, Audrey Leduc, or Leduc. So she got a national record. So congratulations to her for that. As well as the athlete from that country. I don't know. I'm not going to go over it right now. No disrespect to them. Down in 7th place. But yeah, so Tia Clayton, 2nd place, 11 flat, 10.95 for the Canadian. We're going to see what happens in the next round. I got a little bit more faith in Tia, but yeah. And then Amani from Great Britain. I always mess up her last name, and I got 2 different pronunciations, so I'm not even going to pronounce that now. But I was actually pulling for her to make it through in the next round, but I don't think she gonna make it out that round. I don't think she's gonna make it by time. She's with too many heavy hitters, and no. So then the next one, Iwa Swoboda and Dina Asher-Smith. Swoboda kind of got out on everybody because she got good starts, so that's her. She's very good in the 60. She's kind of trying to bring some of that around with her, but let's see if she makes the final. Then we got Dina Asher-Smith. She's still in transition. Like I said in the comment section. Before, Dina Asher-Smith is in transition with her new coach. Let's see, just like Noah Lyles. Remember, I believe he started to at least consider, if not start in 2019, considered working on his start back then. Then we saw the efforts in 2021. It took him 3 and 4 years before we see the Noah Lyles today. Because remember, in his 200s, and much less the 100, even worse, his starts were, he's behind everybody. Then he's got to work to catch up and pass them. Every once in a while, you see that old Noah Lyles come back now. But most of the time, 90+% of the time, you're going to see Noah Lyles way ahead of people. He worked on his start. So the transition with a new coaching style to work on his start took 3 years. You saw 2021 where he was a little bit better at the start. It was not 100% there yet. Then 2022, we saw that, and then he started doing 100s and doing better in them. But obviously, he was relegated to the 200. Then 2023, we saw the fruits of the labor. That's literally 4 years. I believe the same thing is going to happen with Dina Asher-Smith. Whatever we see now, whether she gets a medal or not, whether she makes the next round or not, we're going to see, assuming she stays with the same coach, we're going to see the fruits of that labor at the next Olympics, assuming she's still fit enough to compete at that one. That's going to be the full cycle. I think we could start seeing her do some real damage by next year and the next championships. But as far as this one, I think she's kind of at where she's going to be. And depending on her heat, I'm going to analyze it from there. But this one, it looked okay. I don't think either one of them were trying at max effort at all. So that was pretty clear. Now, heat number 6, we got 2 more to go. TT Terry and Sha'Carri Forbes, which then replaced Shericka Jackson. Again, I got to say, the fact that they could replace somebody like that, USA needs to start doing that. Matter of fact, in other countries, USA especially needs to start doing that because they don't do that all the time. Now, that kind of really shafts Kimba Nelson. I'm gonna say that again. I really didn't like that unless there's some news that she is there. That also shafts probably Williams unless they put her on that squad. As far as I know, I don't think she did. But yeah, that kind of shafted them. Because it's like, okay, you're going to replace somebody. She moves up. Now the next person that would have finished 5th is now 4th. You know, all of that thing. But it's last minute decisions and they were able to do it. I think they had to submit that, 14 days before. So this was already known. Or 10 days before or something. So this was already known. But it just got to the public last minute. So we got TT Terry, Forbes. They looked okay. TT Terry was, working and everything like that. Obviously, they were holding back. So nothing much to say there. They just looked okay. Then we got Gina Bass, Bataille, and she was doing pretty good. People are thinking that she's going to set a national record for her country, for Gambia. So we're going to see the Gambia, if they could get a national record there. A lot of people were speaking about that. Then we had Mujinka Kambunji. Like I said, I don't know if she was going to do well. That was just a lot of people saying that, hey, she's going to take it all. And I'm like, yeah, I highly doubt that. So then we had somebody from Belgium, Delphine Nkansa. She matched her personal best. So congratulations to her. Tima, God bless. I wish her the best next time. She got out very well and then faded. She got absolutely no type of finish after acceleration. She's very good at accelerating. You see it all the time. She should be one of them 60-meter athletes. But after that, it was like, eh. Now, we had Marie-Jose Toulouse-Smith. A lot of people, let me know you guys' thoughts. A lot of people are thinking that she's going to burn out. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't agree that she's going to burn out. Not at all. Yeah, I was going to get to that one, St. Clay, about her saying her last Olympics. I was going to do a whole video on it, actually. But you just said it there. Yeah, it's her last Olympics. That's why I haven't done any dedication video. People have asked me to do dedication videos on her. I'm not doing anything because she hasn't made it clear that she's retiring yet. Just to get to that subject right now. Just like Justin Gatlin. I did one for Justin Gatlin. I did one. Did I do one for Allison Felix? I think I did some mention for her, if not a whole video. I know I did one for Justin Gatlin. So I waited until it was sure that they are retiring. Some people retire randomly, right? They keep trying and trying and trying, and then they're forced to retire. Veronica Campbell-Brown, right? And then other people are retiring because they got it pre-scheduled. Think about Usain Bolt and everything like that. He even said he second guessed whether he should have retired because he's looking at Shelly-Ann still competing now, and he's like, yo, maybe I could have still been competing at this point. Yeah, I think he would have had a couple more losses in between there, but could he have won a few more championships? I'm pretty sure. So with that being said, most of the time when athletes do their quote last Olympics, just like I'm going blank. Most athletes, when they do their last Olympics, they do the world championships right after that, and then they retire. That's what normally happens. It's not like they say, oh, this is my last Olympics and I retire here. Only time that usually happens is if one, the person had already just said, hey, I'm just an Olympic athlete, or two, they just kind of got forced because their abilities are not quite up to par anymore. Was that what happened with Maurice Green as well? So yeah. Now, as far as this, Ta Lou, if this is a chance for her to get gold, I think this is her chance right here. She is looking pretty decent, actually. She may not have looked as well put together as, say, Julien Alfred or Sha'Carri Richardson as far as what it looked like form-wise, but she looked real relaxed. You may be confused because she got them little legs. Her and Shelly-Ann are the same height and everything. And like I said, it's very fitting and kind of funny that the one that relegated her to that harder heat would have been Ta Lou, when I said they have about a similar body type as far as that, except they're built differently, the muscular structure of their bodies with Ta Lou and Shelly-Ann. I believe Ta Lou, had things gone a little bit different, she would have been going head to head with Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce as far as those medals, the golds and silvers and everything like that for the last decade. But whatever it was the coaching, maybe it wasn't her lifting weights, whatever it was, she could not be consistent enough because she's a 10-7 athlete, solid. She's able to do that. She goes to different places. She sets meet records, even meet records that Shelly-Ann had at Diamond Leagues. And she goes there and she rips them apart. Okay. This is the era of 10-6 though. So if they're bringing that heat with that 10-6 in the final, she's going to have to find something else in her. But actually, I think this is a good time for Ta Lou Smith to be able to do this. This is the time, if she can do it at an Olympics, because the next Olympics, I don't know about that. This Olympics, we see how she is. She's looking very good. She's looking tight and right. This is the time that if she's going to go for a gold, if she's got a chance for it at an Olympics, who knows, world championships, right? This is the time to be able to do it. And if she is able to pull this off, I'm going to do a giveaway. Yeah, I'm going to do a giveaway if she's able to pull this one off. Because this is going to be one crazy thing. Many people will say it's an upset. I'm over here looking at it like I said before. When you got Oblique Seville, the same way. Marie-Josée Ta Lou Smith, she's there every single time. Just like when people were saying Bronze Queen. Okay, Bronze Queen won a couple of golds, actually, and got some silvers up in there. Well, not necessarily golds in 100, but in the 200, right? Okay, so when you got somebody that is constantly there, constantly in the atmosphere, and that's not even, oh, and a couple of those silvers were not because somebody got disqualified for doping. It was just like a clear out. She got second. But when you got somebody constantly there pushing the top of that, there is going to come a time when you consistent enough. Hey, you a solid fourth place and sometimes fifth. She's a solid 4th place athlete here year after year. Every once in a while, she's going to come up and scoop up a medal. And if she don't this year, I really feel for her. Because this is the time to do it. Shelly-Ann is not looking straight up there. And I'm looking like, who else? You got Julien Alfred and Sha'Carri Richardson. So let's go to the heats now. Let's go to the heats. Kenna, hey, how's it going? Yep. Yeah, Ta Lou does get out fast. And that's the thing. If she got some finish with her. Okay. Now, here is the semifinal number 1. So, now I'll get into that when I get into it. So, here's semifinal 1. In lane 1, we got Zanab Doso from Italy. 2, we got Ricius from Belgium. Forbes in Jamaica in 3. Jefferson in 4. Asher Smith in 5. Swoboda in 6. Ta Lou Smith in 7. Kambunji in 8. And Takax in 9. I'm going to just say it right here. Rest in peace, Kambunji. You're not making it through to the next round. I will be surprised if she makes it through to the next round, in all honesty. In all honesty, I'll be surprised if she makes it through to the next round. She is actually looking okay for her earlier in the season, but I was like, yeah, she ain't putting together the times like she was. If this was 2 seasons ago, I'd be like, yeah, Kambunji can make it through even with some of these names here. Another one, Forbes, I could kind of see her necessarily making it through, but that might be a time qualifier. The question mark here for me is Dina Asher Smith. That's my question mark right there. How much effort was she putting with Swoboda in the last one? Because I feel like Dina's one of those athletes, like, she don't want to lose, right? But then she got second to Swoboda, and at some point she was just like, all right, I'm finna just stop trying necessarily. Because number one, she got to be smart. She's a little older than she's used to be. Her coach has probably pointed that out. She feels it in her body. But with Dina, she's got to remember that she had to hold back just a little bit. This round, she ain't got no chance to hold him back. All right, she doesn't have a chance of holding back. She has to go and actually go hard because she hasn't been looking as well this season. If she don't do it, Ta Lou is basically, unless she messes up, she's got it. That's one spot right there. What y'all think? Ta Lou is going to make it out this round in lane 7 unless she messes up. False start, cramps up, just out of it. I don't know. She's got this. She doesn't even have to race necessarily to get it. She could have one of them oopsie and it's a 10-7 like when she was looking around. A lot of people are saying, oh, Ta Lou always messes up her energy. That 1087 was fine with the first round. That's like the first round, and it wasn't like it's near her max. She's a 10-7 athlete. She's probably in 10-7 something shape right now. So that 1087, that's right around where everybody else was running at anyway. They were in the 10-9s regardless. So that's right in with the rest of them. That was 10-8 high, not 10-8 mid or low. So that was fine. Her energy levels are fine. She normally just does the semi because you got to race out of it. But in this case, she is the best looking one for this one. Even though her season best isn't necessarily next to Jefferson's, I'm over here thinking Jefferson's got to try harder than Ta Lou does. So that's going to be one there. Now the question is going to be Smith, Asher Smith, and how she's going to fare with this. But I'm going to give it right now to Ta Lou Smith and Jefferson as far as who I'm seeing making it through to the next round. Let's see in semifinal 2. The unofficial Olympic final, what some people are calling it. They calling this the unofficial Olympic final. And I'm like, okay, that's a little unfair because sometimes people are, because it's a name like Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, that does not mean that she's always at the top of the game, right? That doesn't mean that she's at the top of the game. We will see because she looked all right. Now, some people are saying this was also unfair. Okay, let me get this one straight real quick. She got second in her semi. So she doesn't get the preferential treatment and the preferential lanes. Usually they mix up a person based on time. Because remember, Dina Asher Smith and Iwa Swoboda, they had nearly identical times. So they got matched up again. Even though Dina was second, they're still going to do that. What they normally do is 2 winners in the same one. Then the second place goes into whichever other one based on their time, or they'll probably say lottery. But I've noticed this time and time again. They did that to Justin Gatlin. And I was like, oh, they might look like they were targeting him. But that could have been the first round. And then he had to run harder. But he got knocked out. So, with this being said, this is basically Sha'Carri and Julian Alfred. That's why I said goodbye, Shelly-Ann, question mark. Because is this the time that Shelly-Ann is going to be knocked out and she has to make it on time? Not saying that she can't make it into the finals, but is she going to have to race this one where she's going to have to go and say, like, okay, some people were saying, hey, she could hold back. If she's in 10-6 shape, yeah, she could hold back. If she's in 10-7 shape, I don't suggest her holding back. I mean, you got 2 hours or so or something to rest. You just kind of go, and then you're able to, hopefully you can recover. And she's a little older, so her recovery is not going to be the same. She better go straight on that ice bed, straight to the massage table, straight to wherever it is that she needs to, because that's what she's going to need to do. But as far as that, Shelly-Ann is going to have somewhat of an issue getting out of this round. Number one, Julian Alfred is proven this season to be a 10-7 high athlete. Sha'Carri has already proven this season she's hit 1071. She's 1071. That's something that Shelly-Ann in years past, before 2021, that she would hit something like that, like she did at the World Championships in 2019. She's not hitting them 10-7 lows until the end of the season. So if she's at 10-7 right now, and we assume, because we know that Sha'Carri's coach is on point. Sha'Carri, if she was hitting 10-7-1 earlier, she's got to be like a 10-6 high, right? You would think. At worst, she's really just at the same level she was at before. So if both of them are there, you still got a race on, because Julian Alfred is not just going to let them go and take this away. That's if we assume the best case scenario for Shelly-Ann. Now, here's the wild thing right here. Same thing as last year. What if Sha'Carri has a horrible start? Remember how I brought up no allows. Sha'Carri right now, let me click on her profile. I think it brings it up. Sha'Carri, she kind of got the most questionable start. Everybody knows this, out of everybody. And I don't mean because she goes backwards before she goes forward. I mean, she got a misfire. She always typically goes backwards. There's been like, what, 2 times I've seen her where she didn't just look like she was like, oh, shoot, why did the car go into reverse and switch gears? No, it's only been twice that I have noticed that in a race where it's been heated people and she needed to go there, right? It's only been twice. Other than that, if you got big name people and sometimes not so big name people, like in the prelims, she's going to go backwards. But here's the question. Will she do what she did last year? She can't afford to do that. Literally. I don't think luck and fortune, I'll put it this way, will rise on her again. That is the worst thing that she has against her right now. I'm telling you. The worst thing she got against her now is when she does that random ass bad start. And I mean bad for her, because her start's already bad. It's the Tyson Gay effect. He got horrible starts. He got bad starts, and then he got horrible starts. A good start for him is just still a bad start, but average at best for everybody else. So that's the part right there. They said, now here it is. It said, let me see. You got to factor in the psychological game. Shelly has that light years ahead of both of them. Talu has no sense, somebody said. Project DX, you don't run a... I think you mean a 1087, not 9. Okay, you deleted the comment. I'm pretty sure you retyping that in. But yeah, 1087 is not bad. They did a 10.8 the last time. A 10.8 in 2022. Y'all getting too stuck up on that just because I think some of y'all just mad that Talu ran the only one that broke 10.9. Some of y'all mad that Talu is the only one that broke 10.9. Whether she gets 4th or worse or even better, in that I don't think that 10-8 is gonna, that's not affecting her at all. I'm just gonna say it like that. That's not affecting her at all. Unless she does like something close to 11 in this next round, then I'll say I'll give it to y'all. That 1087 is not affecting Ta Lou at all. That was just her. She went through the motions. She didn't look like she was straining. She didn't look like she was using too much energy. She just went whatever. It was just smooth and buttery. She looked very, very good. Ta Lou is known for actually being okay. If she did it in the semifinal and then everybody else was slower or something like that, then you might question it because Ta Lou kind of gets fourth and stuff like that. But this is the prelim. You supposed to put your mark. You supposed to get that. That's why she got a good heat for her. Everybody else matched up to her there. And then Shelly-Ann finishing second right there. She didn't want to race. She just like, look, I just need to make it through. I don't need to try too hard. She got into this heat. Now she's got to try harder. So we're going to see. Now, as far as this, so I'm going to call Julian Alfred and Sha'Carri, and Shelly-Ann has to make it on time. I don't know if anybody else going to be able to make it out of that heat. Now, semifinal 3. Y'all said, wait a minute. Let me get here before I move on. It's another fourth place for her at best. No, I don't think so. If she gets fourth place, it's gonna be because these ladies are running. Like Kenna said, there's a lot of depth in the 100. Okay, Jordan Lee said again, the semi reminds me of Beijing 2008 with Shelly. That one was stacked as well. Yeah, true. This is so funny because it's a bunch of callbacks as far as that, except now she's older. She's what is that? 16 years older than where she was then? Damn. Time be going by, I swear. Was I just getting out of high school? Anyway, semifinal 3. So we got Bertrand in lane 1, Monosova in lane 2, Zoe Hobbs in lane 3, Nita in 4, Leduc in 5, Clayton in 6, TT Terry in 7, Lucan Kemper in 8, and Nkansa in 9. So as far as this one is actually a little bit closer. I want to say that Clayton can make it out, but it's going to depend on a couple of factors. I trust her because of the coach that she's working with. That's how I go back on some of these athletes. If I have any question in my head, I go back to the coaches. I'm like, okay, Dennis Mitchell. Then we got, oh my goodness, I'm going blank. Why the heck did I go blank? See, this is what happens when people go under pressure too. I was waiting for that moment to happen. You know, you go to the Olympics, just like I just forgot coach's name. I went blank. I couldn't even remember Bobby Kearse's name. That's what happens at these big championships. Now, I can tell you that happens on the academic level. There's something called an academic decathlon that we do in the U.S., or it's like a quiz bowl and stuff like that. You get 7 seconds. They ask you a question. It is relatively easy when you're sitting in the stands or watching somebody, but you got cameras on you, got a bunch of hundreds of people looking at you, and you got lights, and it's real dark, and they ask you a question. You got 7 seconds. You see the countdown, and then you go blank. And you only get 5 chances to answer questions, and that takes up 20% of your score. It's kind of like that when people are coming through on these rounds, the semis and the finals. Some of that pressure can eat away at them. But as far as Tia Clayton, I want to say that she makes it through to the next round. I am not so confident that TT Terry can make it through to the next round, although I would personally be pulling for her. I'm not sure. This one is a little bit harder for me to call because this last one, I can say that one clearly. I'm just like Sha'Carri and Julian Alfred. Shelly-Ann is going to have to pull something, and she may make it through on time because of the rest of the ability of the other fields. But Tia Clayton, I think that's a solid, shaky person to make it through. What do you guys think about this round? I know the brain fog is killing me. But yeah, so when you have this field, you got Nita. She wants to make it through. I think she can make it through, but man, Lucan Kemper can actually make it through to the final as well. A lot of people kind of ignore her or look over her, depending on if she's bringing that 10-9 shape And she's got to be faster than that. Here, I believe she's going to have to bring a personal best. She can make it through to that next round, but she's going to have to make it through. I don't think she can make it through on time. She's got to make it through first or second. She's got to do that. And y'all got to start paying attention to Luken Kemper. She actually is a decent 100-meter athlete when she got her stuff together. Does her coach know how to peak her at the right time? That's going to be the question. This is actually going to be her best chance to make it through to the next round. Zoe Hobbs, she can also make it through for New Zealand. That will be good representation for them. So again, this is a good heat for a good right here. Lane 3 through 8. This is a good heat for all of the, well, Clayton, she's new to the game. So she's there. But as far as the ones that's been around and they've been trying to make finals and everything, we got Nita, we got Hobbs, we got TT Terry. She's technically new to the game as far as making the Olympics and stuff too. But she's been around now 2 seasons. And then we got Luken Kemper. For those 3 athletes at least, this is their chance to make it through. They kind of got an easier heat. It's hard for all of them relative because their speed is, you know, more or less similar. Clayton being faster than all of them. But technically TT Terry, but we're going to see. Her coach knows how to put it through. Both of their coaches. I got to say, it's hard for me to call this one. But if I have to go and you got to put a gun to my head, I'm going to go Tia Clayton. She makes it through. And then I'm going to flip a coin and say TT Terry. My outside dark horse pick would be Nita. Luken Kemper is going to be random if she makes it. But I believe that she can. But I'm a stick to it. It's going to be Tia Clayton, TT Terry, and then Nita outside pick, Luken Kemper. I would not be surprised if she makes it through. But this second semifinal right here, that's going to be the one that is probably going to get copyright strikes if you play that one. Because you can't play Sha'Carri's race on this one, even the audio, without somebody trying to copyright strike the channel. So I was going to play some audio for the other ones, but I've already covered everything. Let me see the comment section here. I think I've already gone over everything here. They said Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is 37 years old. I know, 16 years later. She was 21 at the last Olympics. Damn, time goes by fast. And she's not ready to retire yet. Like I said, between the ages of about 38 to 42, it kind of is 40, but it looks like it's extending to 42. Could be the shoes or something like that, or better techniques of recovery, or that, both. But athletes start to have a random, can I rely on my time? Think about Justin Gatlin. Was he like 38 or 39? And he started to kind of, he probably could extended another season or 2, but it was clear that he wasn't really being able to hold himself together the same way that he was. Like, if he gonna have a fast time, it's gonna be like once or twice a year. That's kind of what it was looking like. And he could have relatively fast times, you know, a 10 flat or a 9 something. That's fast, but not for the elite athletes. That's not gonna be fast enough. But that's still very fast compared to the general public and most of the athletes out there. Now, Shelly-Ann, she's kind of in that age group. There you go. You say, I think it's Nita, and I don't know who else. People sleep on Luken Kemper. She looked good in the heats. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think Luken Kemper. See, the thing is, I'm not really 100% sure that her coach has got her there. But if it is, I want to say that she should be the one that can make it through. But I think I don't want to have a bias there, because I think I got a bias of seeing her and confidence. So I'm actually downgrading her in my head. I probably would have her up there as far as a person that makes it through, as one of the 2 that makes it through. But I think I'm compensating. It's funny because I'm analyzing myself as I'm saying it. I think I'm compensating and putting her down lower. But it's going to take her to have a personal best. That's the thing. I'm not quite sure if she can do it, but we're going to see. But she's going to have a personal best. 10-9 low, I think, will get through. 10-8 high. It just depends on what everybody can bring through here, and the wind, of course. 10-9 low, 10-8 high is going to be the people that make it through. Here, I think it's going to take a 10-8 low here, maybe a 10-7 for that one. And then this one, the winner, that's probably like a 10-8 again to make it through. I think Tyloo Smith is just gonna bring herself through and say, you know what? Let me just follow up and do what I need to do. I think that's what it's gonna take to win. As far as this to make it through, not to win, 10-9 low or 10-8 high is gonna be the second place or whoever to make it through. But yeah, all right, guys. I am going to let me see. They said Merlin. Let me read these comments and then I might go unless you guys have something else. I might not be covering other events. I probably will stick to because, like I said, I got that trading tournament and everything that I'm actually preparing for. It happened to be around the same time as this Olympics, so I know I am going to cover the 1500 final when Faith Kipyegon shows up because I personally want to see her do very well. I want to see her get that 1500, 5000 meter double. So as far as the athletes I'm looking for, that's pretty much what I'm watching the Olympics for. And in this 100, the women's 100, the men's 200, the 100 hurdles, because I have absolutely no idea. I'm coming in, I'm like, yeah, I think I know who's probably gonna get it, but I got no freaking clue as far as that. I don't even want to put my name. I was going to do a video. I kept promising people I was going to do a video. I decided not to because I said at the moment I was thinking Masai Russell is probably going to come through with this. Amosan's going to get it or somebody's going to fall over. So I'm just like, no point, because every other year I look back, I looked at the media, I looked at people that were analyzing, Otto Bolton, other people. Everybody was pretty much getting it wrong year after year after year of who they thought was going to win the 100 all the way back to 2008. You thought somebody's going to win the 100 hurdles? The next person did because somebody slipped over a hurdle. It's like 2008, some of the analysts got it right, but it's like, man, what is up with that women's 100-meter hurdles? That is one of the more unpredictable events. So I'm just going to be like, let me leave it off. But that's the events that I'm looking for. And then after that, I want to see if they're going to put Noah Lyles in that 4x4. And then what they're going to do with Quincy Wilson. Those are the things that I'm kind of looking forward to. And what is the Jamaica 4x100 meter team going to look like? I am very curious. And will it be the, dang, we should have put XYZ on a team? I think it could be some of that. That's what I would say. If they ain't looking all that good, I'm going to be like, look, you should have put Kimber Nelson on there. Man, y'all gonna have me butt hurt over, and for an athlete, I'm not really having a favoritism with her. I think she should have just been picked because she's been looking good, but I'm like, yeah. So they said Merlin Ottey was getting on the podium in her early 40s. I know, right? And then you're correct. She needs to finish first or second in semi. She won't get in on her time. Nick, will you cover why Coach Marsh decided not to include Wilson on the mixed relays? Okay. Now, in all honesty, that's going to be a big question to answer. So let me pull something up real quick. I want to see if they're going to put him on the open. If they're going to put him on the open. If they're going to put him on the open 4x400 meter relay like the prelims. And I think, I got to be honest, I think they may not have put him there for two reasons. One, if you're talking about a relay, you're going through traffic. And so sometimes the traffic, and I'm telling you, several coaches that are at some pretty decent colleges in the U.S. and some other coaches that I know that do timing as well. There's a timer that does that. My best friend that is a sprinter, and many other people at some top name high schools in the U.S. They have all basically expressed they want to see him on a team, but if they were the adults around, they're basically kind of gonna bully him. Like if he's around when they're passing the baton, one of the things you might do is trying to because y'all know it's traffic there. People are pushing through. It's not something where it's non-contact. And you can kind of get away with things. Even with cameras, you can kind of intimidate somebody with your body. His body's going to be smaller. It's a lot of things that you can kind of get away with. And somebody being that young, and with the Team USA, because sometimes you get young people like that make other Olympic teams. I mean, they do. They're 16-year-olds that represent other teams, but with him being this big name and being that fast and getting that much attention, you're in the U.S. market. He's caught people's attention, so you kind of got a target on your back. They were worried about that. They're worried like, yo, this kid, he got a target on his back, and they're gonna mess with him and mess him up from that. And so it's kind of like a sabotage thing. As a, it's a grown man ego versus somebody else. They're a competitor at the moment. When they're not racing against you, hey, good job, dap you up and everything. But when you stand up on that line versus the next person, you're not in your own lane. Remember, I believe it goes, what is it, men, women? So if he's not going to be first, he's anything but first, it's pretty much going to be like, yeah, he's going to have to deal with that. But I'm very curious if they're going to put him in the semifinal round of the 4x4. That's going to be very interesting. So I believe that could have been some consideration about why they decided not to put him on. Because I'm like, otherwise, it seems like he would be good. Another reason, here's a secondary reason. Yeah, he might be that fast, but at the end of the day, you got agents that negotiate for you. You got the agents and coaches. He's just kind of getting into the game like this now. And obviously his coach from the beginning of the year, they were preparing him for this. Okay? So, yeah, they prepared him for it. So they probably, maybe have contacted some people, but you never know 100% until you make the team. They got agents around that are representing some of these athletes, and they probably was like, yo, put me up on this team. I don't care what this kid did. We're going to go here. I got the experience. I'm doing this. For example, let's say Matthew Boland or something. I'm doing this. Put me on the team, coach. I could do this. You know how I perform. You saw me the last 2 times. You saw me at the indoor 4x4, and you saw me at the last World Championships and everything like that. You know what I could do, coach. Put me on. So that is a mix of those. Because remember, I believe, I'm trying to remember who. I want to say Justin Gatlin. I could be wrong on this. But one of the men's, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, something like that. One of the men were like, yeah, those agents behind the scenes, they can make or break you being on a relay. So whatever it was an agent. That's probably the primary reason. It was an agent that said, yeah, we're going to need this person to be on the relay, not him. So that's what we got to consider here. The agent got him off, and they said, here we go. Now, as far as Noah Lyles, since I'm talking about that 4x4, let me just go ahead with him. People saying he's having favoritism and everything like that. Look, if you don't got a superstar in the sport, it's kind of like no real reason to watch the sport. The average person does not care for a sport. Like, if you're talking about football, college football was the biggest name because of who, right? He comes up and it's a bunch of people don't care. They buying his sunglasses because he's wearing the sunglasses. They're coming up to go to Colorado because he's at Colorado. They're watching these football games and they don't care about it. Now, a lot of people are going to automatically hate because he's coming in with swag. He's coming in with determination. And every time he loses, they're blowing it up like it's the worst thing because they number one, they put it as if he said he was automatically going to win. And then when he loses, they're like, oh my goodness, he messed up. He fumbled the ball. All pun intended. He did this. He did that. It's like, bruh, this is the first time you're at the in this conference and at this level. So, of course, I'm going to have some learning capabilities here. I'm going to have some adjustment time here, maybe a year or two, a season or two. And then after that, I'm going to dominate just like I did at the all black colleges level. So, like, what are you at the HBCU level? So, what you guys talking about? But that's what happens. So you need to have a superstar of the sport where people outside that don't know anything about it could just come in and absorb the energy. So when it comes to Noah Lyles, whether people think he deserves to have that 4x4 spot, I look at it like this. I believe they put FloJo on that 4x4, and they could have put other people on that 4x4. Yet she had the gold in the 1, the gold in the 2, gold in the 4x1, and then they put her at the 4x4, but she wasn't necessarily even running 400s all like that year. But they put her in the 4x4, and she was going against the open 400-meter champion. They got silver. Like, you don't see it that often where somebody could get medals in all the other ones and then come by. The only other person that had matched that profile that I've seen recently was Shericka Jackson, and she's not looking so hot this year. She could have been the other athlete that could have done that. At least get medals and then get 4x1, 4x4. I thought she was going to do that at Tokyo. Then she kind of flubbed up in that 200, of course, through the rounds and messed that one up. But I thought she could have got a medal in 1, 2, 4x1, and 4x4 to be a very similar mix to what Flojo did. It's very hard and rare for you to do that because your team has to also be very good on that on those relays. So I look at it like this. Go ahead, put him on a team. I'm all for it. If he wants to go like that, that solidifies his larger than track and field status. Carl Lewis was trying to do that, but Team USA, as put by him as well, they were blocking him out. They protected him from some stuff, though. That's another conversation. But they blocked him out from being larger than track. Today, you got a lot of social media and everything like that. So Noah Lyles has an easier time to be larger than track. He's just doing what Carl Lewis was trying to do at the time. I don't see anything different. I'm looking at Carl Lewis' playbook, and I'm looking at Noah Lyles, and like, oh, he's just kind of copying it. If people got a problem, look back to what Carl Lewis was doing. Look back to the challenges he was doing, the conversations he had, and the commercials he took, minus the dress he wore that one time or the high heels he had that one time. That was weird. But aside from that, Carl Lewis was doing all the right things to be larger than track and field. So that's what I got to say on that. That sounds similar to a young NBA player right now. Yeah. Why not? Be the top. You talk about LeBron James' son. Be larger than the sport. Go ahead. I say Usain Bolt is larger than the sport, except here's the problem. Bolt is quiet. He's not really pushing boundaries as far as track and field. He kind of does his Musically. Oh no, it's Usainly. He does his music brand. He got the electric vehicle thing. He's got other things outside of track. So I'm sure Noah Lyles is going to do something similar, except he's going to be so loud that even when he does something outside of track and field, they're going to remember he was a track and field person. So that still is going to bring some attention back to track and field. Whereas Usain Bolt, he's more of the quiet, hey, I'm going to stay in my own lane. I'm going to be to myself type of person. And so him being larger than track doesn't necessarily contribute to track and field, whereas Noah Lyles would continue to contribute to track and field as he's there, as he transcends and say, hey, I'm an athlete, where you could say that. Like LeBron James, he's larger than basketball. He has his own everything. Michael Jordan, definitely, but you still associate them with basketball. So just keep that in mind. You're going to associate Noah Lyles with that, but once he gets bigger than track and field, same thing, maybe Sha'Carri. I'm not sure if she's going in that same direction, in all honesty. I think she's just trying to be big, but she's changed her mind from where she had her marketing. Like, she's back to when she was at LSU. It's kind of strange. I can't really pin Sha'Carri too much. She's kind of like you see it come out of her every once in a while too. Like, you see that attitude where it comes out every once in a while. It's like she want to just say something, but now she's like, look, let me humble. Something tells me if she win this Olympic gold, you can't tell her nothing. Tell me why that's what's going to happen. If she wins this Olympic gold, you can't tell her nothing. You ain't going to hear nothing out of her mouth. You cannot keep it shut because she's going to be the Olympic champion. You're going to tell her, hey, I'm world champion and Olympic champion, and you got something to say to me? And I got the world championship record? Oh, no, you can't do nothing to me. Right? When you see that happen, I think it's going to be more of she's going to start talking again. Right now, she's in the in-between talking a little bit and then not talking. But we need some more trash talk, like for real. It makes it exciting because now people are just saying random stuff. Okay, RG said, my dear Shelly will walk away with the gold. She definitely had a higher number than Sha'Carri. I think you mean Sherrick? Okay. Uh, we'll see. We will see. If she does pretty decently here, like if she comes away with gold, I am going to be mildly surprised because of what she's shown us now, but I won't be completely surprised. I'll put it that way. But people just saying stuff, I don't see it. I don't see her coming away with that. I barely see her making it out the round the way it's looking. If she secretly got some 10-6 shape inside of her, I think Alfred's going to be the one that has to make it on time. And based on the heat, they're going to make it on time if that is the case. But if not, and Shelly-Ann is not there, she may not even make it on time, depending on how the other heats go. It depends on how good a shape she's in. But anyway, thank you guys for coming out. I am your host, Nick, and this is Head and Shoulders ATR, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And I will catch you guys on tomorrow, because we're going to see how this final goes, and this is going to be crazy. So we're going to see how this goes.